Hey Nerfers, my name is Jay, and I am here with my girlfriend Ashley over there, and Psych from Singapore. How's it going, Psych?
I'm good. It's early not really early, but it's early in the morning on a Saturday and I'm sleepy.
And it's early evening. Well, like it's evening. It's nighttime over here in America. It's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time over here. There's a bit of a time zone difference, but we're making it
Mhm.
work.
Yes, we
So,
are.
I'm just gonna check real quick to see if everything is going well with the live stream right now. Uh,
Sure.
give me 2 seconds. Oh, where did I go? It
Oh,
is
it says live.
yeah. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool how it just streams straight to YouTube.
Oh, wow.
So I'm here with Psych. We're doing another Know Your Modder segment. And so we're just going to get the ball rolling right away and ask you some questions. So
Sure.
I'm sure everyone wants to know, and I'm curious myself, how did you first get into Nerf?
I got into Nerf because a friend of mine told me, hey, you should go out and get that Maverick because that Maverick toy looks just like Hellboy's big baby if you paint it all like gunmetal. So that's how I first started it. Getting to Nerf. Opened it up, did a paint job because I previously was into hobby kit modeling, like Gundams and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I started doing the paint job, and since it was open, I was like, let's see if I can do some internal modifications. Got onto YouTube, and I found the basic Maverick mods. I don't even remember what was the first video I actually watched on modding, but I remember, removing the ARs. I remember um, doing stupid things like stretching the spring out and doing the penny mod, and I was like, oh my god, this thing actually works. Like it's such a simple thing to do, but I've got like this much more improvement. So that's how I really got interested in it.
Nice, and that kind of answers the question of your first Nerf blaster. This
Yeah, it is my first blaster.
that's a lot of people's first. It was actually I want to say it was my first, but I could have also very easily. I think I got two Raiders at like a birthday party and an Alpha Trooper.
Wow.
My parents were very much anti toy guns, so like I didn't have a Super Soaker for the longest time. I'd never had Nerf blasters, so I'm making up for lost time over here.
I
Um,
see.
so I'm sure you've done quite a few mods by now. What would you say is the mod that you're most proud of?
The mod that I'm most proud of is honestly, I would say, like, right now, in terms of like, taking into consideration like the amount of time that you need to put into the mod, the kind of skills that you need. I would say that it's still my red long shot. Like, in terms of both cosmetics and internals. Right
Mm-hmm.
now it's rocking. Right now it's rocking a Remedy Metal kit. But before that, I tried
Oh
stuff like,
man,
yeah,
Remedy Metal.
yeah. But like I tried stuff like, the bolt sledless long shot mod. So those are, honestly, they're not like really great mods because in terms of performance wise, it's still lacking. It
Yeah,
leaves it, it has room for improvement because they're all like, we just try out this mod and see how it works. It's all like proof of concept mods. But if not for all of the previous experiences that I had modding, I wouldn't be able to come up with that. So the red long shot that I have, both is cosmetically demanding and as well as internally demanding. So that would still be my favorite mod. That's why
yeah.
it's something that I will never let go of.
All right, nice. Out of all the mods that you've done, what would you say is the mod that you hate the most?
The mod I hate the most is, okay, it's not even singled out to a particular blaster. It's just I hate, and I absolutely hate, and I cannot stress this more, but I hate having to do like rebarrels of turrets and making reloading slots. I hate that. I hate
Okay.
reloading slots.
I never do the reloading stuff anyway, so I feel you there.
No, it's like I realized this hate of mine when I first started modding the performing the Doomsayer mod on the rapid fire. So that
Yeah.
rapid fire shotgun was great. Rebarreling was okay because you had to cut the turret and everything, and then you had to rebarrel. So I'd make 20 different barrels and
Oh
rebarrel
God,
everything one by one.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I've
then
done
after that I had to
something
do like
similar.
the reloading slots, and I'm like, oh, I hate that. It's just so time consuming.
It does take forever.
Yeah, and on top of
Oh.
that, you still have to find a way to get the seal to be perfect to the
Yep.
plunger tube and still make the rotation mech work. That's just oh. Okay, I digress.
No, it's okay. It's infuriating. All right, so we're getting into some subjective things here. What would you say, out of all stock Nerf blasters, is the worst?
The worst stock Nerf blaster. I'm not limited to saying elites, am I?
No, you can. It's any.
Any? Wow. I do have quite a few that I absolutely hate though.
Let's get a list.
Okay.
Let's get a list.
in terms of cosmetics, what is that one zombie strike blaster? The one that they just recently rehashed into red, the one with the crossbow. What is that? Crossfire?
I want to say it's like the cross. It's like the
Is the
half
fourth
of
thing.
a rough cut.
Yeah. I hate that.
Oh, I do too.
That's bad. Like it's so stupid because you prime it from the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make sense for me. So that's one that I hate because of the way it functions. Another one that I really dislike. Now I'm not gonna say the deploy. It's just different. I kind of like the deploy. I'm sorry, bro. I kind of like the deploy, but
That's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna make too much fun of you for that. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe. What is that? The Spectre. Yeah, the Spectre. It's like a waste of time.
I forgot about the Spectre. I had a Spectre for a little while. It broke in like 2 days. It was awful. I hated it. It didn't work well. It like poop darts out. It was big.
Yeah.
It's like, let's make something bigger than a strong arm, but with less capacity.
Exactly.
Because that makes sense.
The Spectre first came out it was in the yellow and strike version.
Yeah.
The Spectre in Singapore, it came out about the same time as when the Alpha Trooper first came out. But we honestly felt like, we have Mavericks and everything. Mavericks like a 6-round shooter. So let's just go ahead and get ourselves a Spectre because it looks cool. Now, aesthetics means a lot to us. I'm pretty sure everyone agrees. But after actually owning the Spectre, you realize that the only things that you want are the barrel and the foldable stock.
Yep.
And after a while, the novelty of the foldable stock just wears off. Everyone just wants the barrel.
Yeah, because it's an awful stock.
Exactly.
Trying to use it.
And I hate it even more because I remember rushing out, dropping everything I had just to rush out Toys R Us and get myself a Spectre. Brought it all the way back home, opened the box, and I realized that it didn't have a barrel in it. Brought it all the way back, got it changed, and I was like, man, this blaster kind of sucks. It's just 5 darts. And what was it firing at the time? Whistler darts.
Oh yeah, the old one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that for that amount of money you're paying for that blaster, I just hate it. Spectre. And then the next reason why I hate it is because after releasing the Elite Spectre, then Hasbro goes one full circle, kicks you in the butt, and says, "Hey, here's a strong arm."
Yep. Exactly. Okay. And then the flip side of that would be, what do you think is the best stock blaster?
The best stock blaster, hands down, is the Rebel Messenger.
How come?
It's 3 darts, smart AR system, best performing barrel out of the box. It has the best, in my opinion, the best dart fit, and it gets the most constant ranges out of all of the Elite and Rebel line. So that to me is the best.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a manufacturing thing, but it's just that if you try it out on a stock Messenger, the darts just fit perfect.
I mean, I haven't actually messed around with too much of the Rebel line. Most of it just didn't really interest me personally, and I have a thing against bow revamps and just the sheer amount of different bow variations. That and jolts Like Hasbro, I feel like Hasbro just like their research and development department just sits in a room, like hot boxes it, and just goes, I wonder if they'll buy a green Jolt instead of an orange one. And then they do, and people are like, "Oh my god, it's another Jolt! Let's get it!" And they do, and it's ridiculous. I hate it.
Like me, right? Like me.
And it's like, and the other thing is like, they're like, "Oh well, every girl wants to be Katniss Everdeen now, so let's just slap bow arms on everything." So, and that bugs me. It's just like terrible plunger systems with bow arms, and like give them stuff that they can actually use. Give them stuff that's useful. There's like,
Yeah.
I think there's like a retaliator variation, I think, and there's like a strife variation, and that's it. Those are the only like useful blasters from the Rebel line, in my opinion, personally. But I'm a huge fan of anything clip fed, so and that's just me. So let's move on to some of the. Speaking of different lines, excuse me, we've got some new lines coming out, and that are out already. I don't know if they're out in Singapore yet, but what are your thoughts on the Rival line?
Rival, I think Rival is interesting. I'm still like on the fence about it. It's not yet released here in Singapore. It's
Okay.
supposed to, I mean, insider information tells me that it's supposed to be released this month, but I don't know. I shipped one in from Amazon. I got myself a Apollo, and I think like right now I'm not doing anything with it. I took it apart. I did some mods. I did the whole return mod. Removed the locks. Tried it out here and there. But I think that I just have this like gut feeling that it'll end up the same way the Vortex line did. Like Vortex was cool when it first came out, and everyone was trying out all the ricochet shots and everything.
Yeah.
But I think that the Rival line, unless there's gonna be like healthy promotion and healthy competitions or tournaments held by Hasbro,
Yeah.
I have a fear that, well, not really a fear. I have a feeling that it will just fail, because in terms of people like myself or like you, for example, all the time and money and effort we put into our blasters and all the foam darts that we've been using and having our barrels and everything fit for that, and you suddenly want to change it to balls, I don't think it would sit very well. Or at
Yeah.
least like what we were saying earlier on, people aren't so, people don't take the change that well
That's
unless
very
there's a
true.
great reason for you to do so. But apart from that, honestly, for what it is worth, the Apollo is really fun. I like it. I'm only limited to 7 balls right now because I didn't spend any money to buy new balls.
Yeah, and the refill packs are incredibly expensive.
Yeah, and for the Zeus, I've heard a lot of bad reviews about the Zeus, like from the mag mechanism and everything. So I'm kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. I've always never leaned towards the flywheel side of things. So that's the
I'm the
main
same
reason
way.
why. Yeah, that's the reason why I bought the Apollo in the first place. But hearing that about the Zeus just, like kind of solidifies confirms my feeling about not getting one.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I mean, things might change. I mean, who knows? Hasbro might have learned, I guess, took a lesson from the Vortex line and do something different in the future for the Rival line. I don't know.
I will say, if you haven't seen, I think their YouTube name is Out of Darts.
Yeah, out of darts.
They did like a 270
70,
round.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't even have the words. Like it's just so absurd, and
Yeah,
I
it is.
love that. I love Overkill. Overkill is fantastic in my book, and that's just like the overest of kills.
Yeah,
And
it really is. It really is.
I want it. I, like I know I won't be able to use it. My Nerf club on campus actually almost banned the Apollo stock because it was way too powerful.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and I'm like I'm a big proponent of there being like a man the hell up clause in our doctrine, but they're not taking to that so well at the moment. But it's more like on a individual basis. Like if you're being a dick with it, they will ban it, but as of right now, not enough people have Apollos or use them. It's like for me, it was like I shot the same person in the face twice in like one round. So
Because
and I
it
was
arcs
just
up.
it does. The balls definitely scoop up. I will say though that their accuracy is much better than elite darts.
Definitely.
But on the flip side to that is that they have to be round in order to be like that, and because they're round, they're going to roll away. So
Yeah, and
you'll
bounce off
lose a lot
everything.
of ammo,
Yeah.
and they bounce off everything. So
I like Out of Darts mod. I really do. I think
yeah,
that to me is like what modding should be. Like you don't conform to, like to the norm and just think of something really crazy and do it.
exactly.
Yeah. The only reason why I don't really dig that mod personally is because I just don't dig the full auto Zeus mod in the first place. Because it feels like you're just spitting balls everywhere. There's no form of control. Like there's no way for you to control. Like for sure, I'm gonna fire just one ball or like two balls now. It's like
Yeah,
oh, I'm
exactly.
out. Yeah.
And well, I mean, if you have 270 balls, it's going to be a while before you go, oh, I'm out. But I mean, at the same time, then you have to pick up all those balls. So
270.
it's nuts. It's just unnecessary and ridiculous.
But you want it, right? You just want one, right?
Yeah, I do. I don't
Walk
even
around with an air blow on your back. Like, what's that?
exactly. I think the rival line will have some potential if managed correctly. It's just a matter of will Hasbro manage it correctly.
Exactly. That's how I
So
feel
we'll
about it
see.
too.
Yeah, we'll see. Thoughts on the Doomlands line?
Doomlens is released in Singapore. We got a couple, Lawbringer, and I don't remember what the other blaster's name is. Too many names.
There's like a Persuader and like a I don't know something else.
Yeah, something else, right? Yeah, the other
Yeah.
one. I don't know what it is, but I think it's just like any other regular Nerf blaster. It's like Zombie Strike. It's just okay, it's another Nerf blaster. It's just they just want to make something look a bit different, like
Yeah,
having like clear plastic parts on certain areas and everything.
which
So
is I think, but
yeah, for me, I'm just indifferent to it. Like the Doomlens line is like, okay, it's another Elite series. It's just another blaster, like a 10 round hammer shot or like 12 round. Was it 10?
I
12.
believe it's
10.
12 rounds.
12 round. Yeah, it's a 12 round hammer shot. So that's what it is. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing to go crazy about. So yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my sentiment to it. It's like, wow, these look interesting. I'm not gonna spend money on them, but I mean, if like someone wants to let me borrow one, sure. But I'm not gonna spend my own money on them because
Yeah.
they don't have, at least for what I'm using Nerf for, that line, anything from that line doesn't have an application for me because I need more high capacity, more powerful stuff.
Yeah.
That's just me. So the Doomlands line is kind of meh for everyone at the moment. Nothing's really come out to like really knock our socks off. Moving on. What are some of the other things that you do besides Nerf?
Okay. I have a whole ton of hobbies. Not as much as you though, because I work a day job right now. So that's kind of something that I do on the daily. But for leisure, besides Nerf, I dance. I do a style called popping. I've been dancing since the year 2000. I also DJ, but not like at a club or at a bar. I DJ specifically only for dance battle events because I'm in the
Oh
whole
wow.
dance circle thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also produce music. Like I produce a few tracks for dancers to get down to. So that's how I guess that's how I'm well known around the world, more so than for Nerf. So those are the kind of things that I do during my free time.
That's super cool.
Thank you.
So how many subscribers do you have now on your
Right
channel?
now, exactly 8,000.
Wow, congrats.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like exactly 8,000, but I
On the
never
dot.
expected to be. Yeah, I never expected to actually reach this number at all.
Yeah.
So
It's amazing what people latch onto when you think like, because I just started my channel for like the hell of it, and like I'm not gonna lie, I modeled my early videos after Drac because that was the stuff I'd seen, but then I was like maybe 5 or 6 videos in, I was like, I need to develop my own style, and so I started showing my face and started actually being a personality. Not that Drac isn't a personality in and of himself, it's just it's hard to convey personality or receive personality when you can't see their face.
yeah, exactly, because there's a lot of emotions.
Yeah, but I never expected to get to the point I am now, and it's just amazing how things just kind of take off and gather momentum.
Yeah.
So oh yeah, please go on.
No, because okay, I wanted to tell you about like how I started the channel. Is that one
Oh,
of the
absolutely.
questions?
No,
Is it,
but I don't think so. Maybe hold on.
how'd you
It was
come up with
like,
your YouTube name?
yeah, it was with your name, which we'll get to. We can
Okay.
do that next.
Okay, I'll keep it for later then.
Okay, cool. So what I wanted to ask in regards to your subscribers is, have you ever like run into a subscriber in real life?
Yeah, I have a couple of times, but there's this one time that was really really memorable. Okay, so we have a metro here in Singapore. We call it
Yeah.
the MRT. I'm just gonna call it subway because people might get confused.
Yeah.
So it runs by a tap card system. So
Yeah.
you go up to the scanner, you tap your card, and the gantry opens, and you go in. So I was coming out of the station once, and I was having a problem with my card, like it just wouldn't let me go through.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up, and I had to go to the service center, which is what we call the control station. So I went to the control station, and I put my card, and it's kind of like I don't know, like the bank teller. It's like a piece of glass and a little filter.
Yeah.
And then you have a little slot at the bottom. So I
Yeah,
put it there.
that's like what they have in New York City. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I put my card down in the slot and I say, I'm really sorry. I think I'm having some problems with my card. I'm not able to go out. And the guy just takes it and then he goes, I know what's wrong. I'm like, what happened? He's like, it's because you're not making enough YouTube videos. He puts it back. I'm like, what? Like, what? So I looked up because I was looking at the slot all the time, right?
Yeah.
I looked up and he was smiling. I was like, okay, that's cool. He's like, yeah, I watch your videos. I'm like, wow. Okay, that's a very pleasant surprise. Thank you.
That's awesome.
And then, yeah, so that was like my most memorable one out of all.
That's really funny. So I mean, obviously, there's I kind of want to go into this next one. I put it at the bottom, but there's got to be like a pretty big Nerf scene in Singapore. Then I'm assuming.
Yeah, honestly, we're a really small country. It's like we are an island basically.
Yeah.
A really congested island. Because there's a lot of people here. But in the past, we always thought, yeah, this is just the Nerf community in Singapore. It's just Nerf Singapore, Nerf SG. But now, because Nerf is getting more and more popular, there are more and more Nerf interest groups that actually appear, be it maybe stemming from schools or stemming from estates. But we realize that there's really like at least 5, 6, 7 other groups that we've never heard of who have also never heard of us.
Wow.
And it's really strange. So when we finally get a chance to reach out to them, the administrators of the Nerf Singapore Facebook page will try and hit them up and we'll try and organize a game together.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that the scene is pretty active. And we are honestly surprised that it's always about the same age group of people. It's not like, oh, it's all for kids and everything.
Yeah.
It's very rare. It's very, very rare to see children playing here in Nerf Wars in Singapore.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I think basically, okay, for me personally, I feel it's because of the government system or the whole education system here in Singapore. Now, I'm going to go a bit in depth into this and it might be a bit dry. I don't know.
No, go for it.
Yeah, so maybe it'll help you to understand. You could do something about this, like cover story about it in the future. I don't know.
Definitely something that's a possibility.
Yeah. Like, okay, it's like stereotyping a country. First of all, I'm not gonna try. I don't want to stereotype a country, but I'm just gonna use an example. For
Yeah.
for this purpose. Let's say we talk about Japan. The first thing people say about Japan is, oh, the quality control there is off the hook. Like anything made in Japan is gonna be really good. Like, or in China, they have sweatshops and you can get stuff really cheap in that country. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like the things that you relate to when you talk about those countries. But for Singapore, it's always about like, the stereotype or the word that goes around the world about Singapore is, oh, it's a really clean country, it's all green, and you go to jail if you chew gum and stuff. That's the usual, yeah, assumptions based on
Never heard
foreigners.
that one.
Oh, well, you can find out, but for us, it's mainly, you realize that a lot of people, especially in Southeast Asia, will come here to Singapore to study, and it's got one of the best education systems around the world.
Hmm.
So for us, it doesn't even help that we're an Asian country. So Asian parents are all like, oh, okay, you got to study, you got to be a doctor, a lawyer, someone big in the future.
Yeah.
So you spend a great deal of your entire childhood just studying. Like, as far as I could remember, I studied all the way till I was about 20 years
Oh,
old.
I see where you're
Yeah.
going with this.
Yeah. So parents don't really give you much of a leeway to say, like, like you guys have a culture of, hey, get outside and go play. Go play, like,
And
have fun.
even, I mean, and even in America, that's actually, starting to disappear because, I mean, there's been in the past couple of years, past like 5 to 10 years, there's been much more of an emphasis on testing and that kind of stuff. So kids' leisure time is actually going down in America as well,
Yeah.
which is
it's it's
awful.
it's always been like this here in Singapore, and it's getting worse now because of the foreign talents coming in.
Hmm.
You kind of have a fear when you live here in Singapore. You have a fear, like, okay, these guys are coming in from another country. I mean, you're talking about people who are known to be, academically smart, like from India. Those guys are rocket
Yeah.
scientists, man. Like from China, they are born survivors. They live to fight. So for us in Singapore, it's, parents have an increasing worry for their own children. Like, you guys got to really study hard. So all your free time is going to be taken up by tuition. You're going for extra classes, get extra hours in, take something that will help you in the future, like a musical instrument or whatever. So
Hmm.
a lot of parents don't, I guess, because of that control, a lot of children aren't able to come out and play at games unless their parents are playing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's because most of the games in the past, it's starting to change now, but most of the games in the past were always like, yeah, we can bring in modified blasters. Let's just play with like Stephens and everything. And when a parent sees that, they would fear, and they'd be worried, like, my child's
Yeah.
gonna get hit by that. And a lot of the times, children would be like, yeah, I'm okay. But when they get hit, they cry. And the first thing that happens when they cry is parents will just kick up a fuss and call the cops and everything. That's
Yeah.
how it is over here. So
I feel like
that's,
that's parents all over the place though. They're very overprotective.
yeah,
And
but more so here. So that's why you don't really see children in wars. Sorry, you
okay.
were saying?
Oh, so no, I was saying like especially in like my um back home where I'm from, and it's still in New York State. It's like it's a couple hours east of where I am now, northeast. And there's a Nerf league that started up there, and it's for all ages. But they have pretty strict limitations on how modified your blasters can be because of they're like, I don't know if you saw my war footage video from over the summer, but they're
Mm.
like 5-year-olds in there, and they're like just hobbling around using their blasters as crutches, like just doing random things. And like that I was so glad I brought my GoPro for that because it was just, I got some great footage.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I mean, there's there are definitely different levels of play, and I can understand why there isn't a large Nerf scene with children over there. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's growing now because like one of our members is working with an organization known as the People's Association. It's like a government-backed association where they organize things, for the community. So yeah, I mean, in Singapore, you kind of, okay, think of it as like the villagers or the projects, something like that.
Yeah.
So there's a community center in the project. So we have like little estates, and we have a community center in an estate. So what this association, I'm just going to call it PA because it stands for People's Association. So PA, what PA does is they organize like, events. It could be anything, like it could be arts related, sports related, whatever. And they organize it at these community centers for the residents of that area.
Yeah.
So now one of our members is working really closely with them. He's employed by them. So he organizes Nerf wars every once in a while. And it's really cool because he started the ball rolling for purely stock wars and purely stock games. So he puts a lot of effort into it. He thinks of gameplay modes and everything. So the residents will actually bring the kids down, and I think they managed to get Hasbro to support it. So they have free darts going on, and they have Loner Blasters and everything. So
That's
it's
cool.
really cool. Yeah. So then that is making the whole Nerf landscape change here in Singapore.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's really cool. All right. So, kind of still focusing on Nerf communities.
Sure.
We're all aware of that the NIC is a huge entity in and of itself, and there are many facets. What is your favorite part of the NIC?
My favorite part about the NIC is that every once in a while you get this little genius that appears out of nowhere and blows everyone's minds with like whatever they have to bring to the table.
Like a 270 round fully automatic Zeus.
Exactly. I don't know. I remember, okay, the first time that it happened to me was actually on a forum when I saw Taya Kitty. So Taya Kitty, blew my mind with like really, really unorthodox mods. He did, I forgot what it's called, but he took a jolt. Yes, I know you hate the jolt, but he took a jolt and he stuck it on the front of a Night Finder.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. He took out the light and integrated it into where the light used to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
it's
that
like
was
it's like a Night Finder with a foregrip.
Exactly. And like, why would you even think of that? But then he became one of the cleanest modders that I ever heard of. Next thing I know, for my own country, we have Drizzle. Drizzle he's really, really clean with his work. And then there's Andu, who just appeared, right?
Yep. His
and
stuff.
Then,
was it Andu who made the he took like the barrels from like the Zombie Strike crossbow and put it in a knife or a Fire Strike. Was that Andu?
Yeah.
That was so clean.
The first one he did was the Triad with the
Yes, that's right. I featured that on my blog a while back, actually.
Yeah. So out of nowhere, this guy just comes up and that's like amazing. So that's my favorite part about the NIC. There are too many people like that to mention, but I love being surprised that way.
Nice. And we all know that the NIC has some not so fun parts. What is your least favorite part of the NIC?
There's way too many trolls, man.
Yeah. I agree.
It's like sometimes I just don't want to be a part of it because of that. But I just find myself checking back every once in a while, just try and find that just one needle in the haystack. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it sucks you in and it pisses you off, but then when you get rewarded, you'll be like, oh my god, this guy is great.
It's an abusive relationship, but when it works well.
Exactly.
So let's let's talk about your channel. What would you, I mean, you made a lot of videos by now, I'm assuming. So what is your favorite video that you've produced?
The favorite one, man, I don't even remember what the title of the video was. Oh my god. I think it was the one where I was talking about doing the whole retrofit for the Retaliator and the Recon Shell. And I did like the stupid skit at the front where I had like stupid setups and I was acting and shit. I think that was my favorite. I mean, I felt stupid doing it. Yeah. And I feel stupid watching it, but the reviews were good. People like, hey, I kind of like that. I'm like, okay, cool. So I guess I did something right. So I guess that's like my favorite because I was exploring something new, trying stupid things, yeah, and it was one of those that I actually did a lot of jump cuts in it and
Yeah.
cut down a lot of the rambling. So yeah.
Do. Oh, so where did the name Psych come from?
Cool. Okay, it's a long story, a really, really, really long story. Um, okay, my surname is Ko. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a legit surname, Ko. Ko. So when I was younger, it was a bit crazy. I would do stupid things. Like honestly, if you knew me back then, I probably would get. I think I probably would have pissed you off too. Might have been punched by you. I don't know. But
I work
like had
with
a
children, so I'm pretty hard to piss off. I work at a summer camp, so
I see. Nah, but that's how I basically got it. Like psycho. People used to call me like, "Hey, this guy is psycho." It's like he's psycho. He's like psycho. So that's where the site came about. But how I got pSykG was because I used to hang out at the video game arcades a lot. And one of my favorite games at that time, and this was like late 90s, like 98, 99. One of my favorite games at the time was Beat Mania. It was like a pseudo fake DJ game. It's like a
yeah,
reaction thing. Yeah, one of the first where the notes would come down, you have to hit the button accordingly.
yeah.
So I got so good at it that I would always get to put my name into the high score of the machine. And it's strange because usually high scores, like when you play Street Fighter or something, they would only accept 3 characters, but this one accepted 4. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put psycho. I'm gonna put psycho, like PSYCHO. Nah, PSYC looks like sync. So I went for pSykG, and then it stuck.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how. Because at that point of time too, I was dabbling in DJing. Like I was making mixtapes, but the music that I mixed was all based on music from the Konami games like Dance Dance Revolution, Beat
Yeah.
Mania, Para Para. And I think Hong Kong picked up on my mixes and they liked it a lot. So that's how that name really stuck because I had to put a name to it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah, but that was like way back. So that's how I got my name, Psych. And the reason why my channel is called pSykSG is because now I'm going to answer the earlier question about how I started my channel.
Yeah.
So I used to run a channel based off, not really based off. I kept the channel, not really run it. I kept the channel because I wanted to make like a progress log of my dance, my dance skills, and I wanted to see my own improvement. So if you type youtube.com/psych, you would find my old channel, and it's mainly all just dance videos. And over time, I started to get really into, really, really deep into Nerf modding. I got a bit tired of always doing write-ups because I would have to take pictures and edit the pictures and put in
Yeah.
instructions. I believe, and I'm not trying to brag, but or I'd like to think that I make some pretty good write-ups back in the past, like on Nerf Haven and Nerf Revolution, and even in Nerf SG. But those are really time consuming because I'd have to line up the shots, I'd have to go through the whole thought process all over again, and I have to make sure that the words in the picture would match the words that I'm typing out in the write-up. Just so really time consuming. And I had a camera back then, a really small digital camera, so I started to film, record down and just talk about the mod. And then I used to put it on my dance channel, and those subscribers at that point of time, I had about 3,000 subscribers for the dance channel, and they got a bit irritated, like, hey man, you like putting up like non-dance related stuff, like what's going on? So then I decided, okay, I'm gonna just start another channel for all these Nerf mods. And at that point of time, I couldn't think of any other name because everyone knew me as Psych already. So I thought, why not just Psych Singapore? Because like dance in Singapore, DJ in Singapore, Nerf in Singapore, so Psych Singapore. So that's how I got the whole pSykSG thing.
Okay, nice. And so how long have you like with your Nerf channel? How long have you been producing content for?
Nerf channel, I would say since the year 2011. So that's about 4 years, I think. I'm not so sure because of the old channel, the new channel, and the transition over. So I for as far as I can recall, I started to produce Nerf content Doesn't matter which channel. I think since the end of 2009 or maybe mid 2010. But I think I started this channel of mine now, in about 2011. I think so.
All right. And what would be some advice that you would give to people who are just starting out?
In terms of modding or in terms of
In terms
YouTube channel?
like if they want to start their own YouTube channel.
I see. First of all, you have to have content. Now, I shouldn't be preaching this because I never keep to my timeline. Like I name my channel Pwned, right? So it's Psych's Weekly Nerf Dosage, and I don't even make content weekly because I just get tired. So be prepared. The advice is be prepared. It's way more time consuming than you think it is. I'm pretty sure Jay over here can attest to that.
Absolutely.
It's not easy. But the thing about it is, if you want to run a channel, I'm going to assume that one of your goals is to be partnered with YouTube. And in order to be partnered with YouTube, you have to have solid content first. Now, it's kind of hard if you want to start now because a lot of new concepts have been used already in terms of the Nerf related videos or channels in YouTube. So think of something unique, something you can bring to the table, and just keep at it. Whether you're going to do review videos, think of a unique way to review stuff. If you're going to do unboxing videos, think of a unique way to unbox stuff. If you want to do mod videos, then you have to be better than, say, like an up and coming one would be, or maybe right now he's pretty established. I would say Mag212. Mag212 is pretty damn established in my opinion because he's young. He's like a young Coop.
Yeah.
And he makes good mods. So make sure that your mods are of his standard or even better. And then keep at it. Don't stop. And once you've amassed like maybe about 5-6 videos and you've got like a pretty good pool of subscribers or followers, then try and apply for the partnership in YouTube. And if they reject you, like mine got rejected at first, if they reject you, try again.
Yeah.
Just they'll give you pointers, take their advice, work on your channel, and then try again. Just keep on trying. But make sure that you have the time to actually do it. Make sure you have the ability to commit to that channel.
All right. So we're getting down to the end of the questions here. It's time for some top threes. So to start off with, let's hear your top 3 or top 5 music videos or YouTube videos, excuse me. If you can't narrow it down to 3, then 5 will be okay, I suppose.
Okay. I love what we spoke about just now. My very first somewhat useless invention. So just for this video, just for all your viewers out there, earlier on, Jay and I were talking about the collaboration video we did for Southern Brisbane Nerf Club, or basically Rob's channel, and he said that he liked my entry, and I guess I'm happy that he liked it. But I was sharing with him that it's a tribute to one of the funniest videos I've watched on YouTube, and the title of that video is called My Very First Somewhat Useless Invention. So it's basically this guy with a plastic bottle, cuff cut, with a rubber glove on top with a Russian accent going, this might look like ordinary rubber glove, and so that's one of my favorites. My second favorite video, now the next two I won't rank in any order, but one of the videos I really like is from a channel called Epic Rap Battles.
I love, fun fact about that real quick, Epic Rap Battles of History is run by someone who was in the improv troupe that I'm currently in now. He graduated. Nice Peter is his name.
I love Nice Peter. He's cool.
Nice Peter is from SUNY Fredonia, from State University of New York at Fredonia. He graduated from here a while back. He was in the improv troupe that I'm in now, and he is in Epic Rap Battles of History. So
yeah, I like him. I used to watch his channel, like Nice Peter 2. That's his channel. So I used to follow his vlogs and everything. I thought he had a generally pretty cool vibe. I was always very inspired by the fact that he could just pick up a guitar and sing about anything.
And that's so hard. Musical improv is so ridiculously hard. It's so difficult to just make up a song on the spot. It's so hard.
Exactly. Man, that guy is a genius, I would say. Like him.
Yeah, he's so smart.
His musical ability. So, Epic Rap Battles of History. if I narrowed it down to one video, in the past it used to be the Steve Jobs versus Bill Gates one, but now it's the Eastern philosophers versus the Western philosophers one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
That one is tight, man, because it's like he got, I don't know how he did it. He managed to get like all these names in YouTube, man, and they all just special guested and featured in that video. It's really cool. I like it. I like how the whole story flowed. You know, that's one of my favorites. The way it's produced, I think it's really, really awesome. Yeah. And my third video would be, I'm gonna find the name of the video now because I don't wanna screw it up. But it's by this group, and this is a music video. It's by a group called OK Go. You heard of them?
Oh yeah, I love OK Go. They honestly, I have to say, they have the best music videos that I've ever seen.
Exactly. So I think the first one everyone watched of OK Go was the one with the 4 treadmills, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Here it goes again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was the first I saw, and then I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about them. And then one day I was having a talk with a colleague of mine, and we were talking about one-take videos. And I was like, you haven't seen this group called OK Go. And these 4 guys, they have this whole one-take music video, and it's amazing. So we actually watched it. And then I realized, oh shit, they have more than one now? It's like, okay, so now, OK Go. OK Go. I won't let you down. I like that music video.
Yeah.
Where they actually use the drones and everything. And it's like, that's an amazing one take. That was an amazing one.
Is that the one where they're all on the like Segway machine kind of things?
Yeah.
It's
traveling around.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. They have another one that is like all the visual, you know, the trick visuals where they actually show you, it looks like a square and then you move it out.
Yeah, that one's really cool too. And they have like a few that are like a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah.
Everything kind of domino effects into the next thing.
Like in the house and they go upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's an innovation.
They're so good.
Yeah. So those are my top 3.
Nice. Top 3 musical artists.
Top 3 musical artists. In, I guess, now or of all time?
I don't know. I'd say of all time.
Okay, of all time. One of my favorites that has always been my favorite, I guess. If we're not talking about, if we're not restricted by genre of music, then Oasis. I've loved Oasis since I was a kid.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm talking about just their music, lyrically, and in terms of, you know, the songwriting and all that. I think I really dig Oasis. Like the meanings of the lyrics are, you know, are crazy. It's like almost like Metallica. Yeah. Metallica used to write songs in Old English, and it had a lot of like double meanings and hidden meanings. I think Oasis does that too. So Oasis were the reason why I wanted to learn the guitar in the first place. So it's not because I wanted to sing to a girl, although it was cool, but picked up the guitar so that I could just sing along to Oasis songs. So Oasis is one of my favorites. Second is a lesser known producer. His name is called Temu. Temu produces a lot of funk, what we call new funk. Temu is pretty cool. I like the way he rehashes songs. The most recent song that blew my mind was his rendition of The Final Countdown, and he called it The Final Funk Down, and it's mad. Like he's crazy. He does a talk box, you know. He has an MPC, makes beats, and it's not just danceable, but it's really like something that you could just sit down and listen to. Yeah. So I like Temu. And the next producer that I really like is this man called Fingers. And Fingers is a West Coast funk staple. If you're into West Coast funk, you would know West Coast funk or G-funk. You would know of this name. Now, he makes tracks of his own, but he produces for a whole lot more. You know, it's really crazy. This guy, I I don't really know how to describe him. He's always pushing boundaries. Like, now what's really trending after dubstep was trap, and he was able to fuse trap into old school hits. Like, the song "A Lovely Day."
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a remake. He actually produced a remake of "Lovely Day" with an artist called Stone and a rapper called Malachi, and he infused trap elements into this song, "A Lovely Day," and it sounds absolutely awesome.
That's so
He
cool.
also gets on the talk box. He makes remixes, and he has like this whole series of albums called Classics for the OGs, and he basically remakes classics. And one of my favorite remix that he had was Saturday Love, originally by Sherelle, but his spin on it was just mind-blowing, and that guy is another genius on a whole new level. So those are my top three.
All right. Top 3 movies of all time.
Movies of all time. Okay, this is gonna be a hard one, but I can just tell you my number one favorite movie of all time is a movie called Mystery Men. I don't know if you've heard of it. I think it's a B grade movie, Mystery Men. It's a stupid show about superheroes, and it's basically telling you that everyone has a superhero power. It's just you can find it in everyday life.
Yeah.
Like the main protagonist, his name is it's really stupid. I'm gonna tell it to you and you're gonna laugh. But the main protagonist, his name is Mr. Furious, and his superhero power is to get really angry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Because it's just so weird. It's just strange and it's out of whack, and it's like it's so unorthodox. I love it. Another movie favorite of mine is one of the more mainstream ones, which is The Matrix. And I'm talking about the first Matrix, because I feel that second and third were like meh, but if not for the first Matrix, all of that backstory wouldn't have surfaced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all these like fan stories and backstories and the Matrix, the animation and all that. It's just all the conspiracy theories and all those different theories behind it all just came out because of the Matrix itself. And I really like that. Like, it wasn't so much of just the movie. I mean, I like the movie, but I also like the follow-up that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the third movie, oh wow, I don't really know. It's an Indian movie called Three Idiots. This, not just because it's a Bollywood movie, it's really funny in terms of the comedy it had. If you have a chance to, Jay, you should check it out. This is like it's really funny, and yet it addresses a really real life situation in India, where it's about high school life and people who go to study and the things that they do to sacrifice just to get that paper. I think it's really cool. Like, I've never laughed so much, so hard at a movie, and cried so much, so hard at the same movie.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in a language that I don't even understand at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you should check it out. It's called Three Idiots. It's really good.
I'll look it up.
That one.
I know the feeling that you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't have it on the question sheet, but top 3 TV shows.
Wow. Okay. I rarely watch TV, so I'm gonna be pretty bad at this. TV shows. The one that I really liked was Suits.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that law show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Suits because it's my first law-based show. But then at the same time, it's like, that little genius underdog kind of thing. I like that. And the next show, now, I unfortunately did not watch Game of Thrones, so that will not be on my list.
I've never watched it either, honestly.
Yeah. I think if I start, I'm afraid that if I start, I'm going to get so addicted to it that I'll just keep watching.
Yeah.
So the next one is a show called The Wire. Yeah, I like that because it gave me an insight to like Baltimore and, the darker side of America.
Yeah.
Where drugs and peddling and stuff. And I think that was really, really interesting, the way they filmed it. And it made me think a lot about, like Okay, I watched an American classic called West Side Story.
Yep,
Yeah,
I was in it in high school.
right. So it kind of spoke about the racial issues, and even the cops were a little bit racist during that point of time.
You say
So
were.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say because I don't live there. So I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm just trying to be politically correct here.
that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, but The Wire gave me a pretty cool insight to see how the police were trying to work hand in hand with
Yeah.
the drug cartels, and I thought that was really really cool. I
Mhm.
don't know how much of it is true because it is a TV series.
Yeah, you gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. And the next one that I like is Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay.
I love it. I just love it. Just I could just watch Big Bang Theory. So
I know you're into One Punch Man as well.
oh, for sure, man. I mean, you're talking about TV series, so I just left anime out.
Oh, see,
Totally.
I was including anime. I thought that was
Ah. Okay. You want me to talk about anime?
yeah, top 3 anime. Let's go.
Okay. The first one. Unfortunately, I don't think One Punch Man is going to be in the top 3 because
That's
One Punch Man is new. It's
Yeah.
new, but everyone should just check it out anyway.
It's so good. It's
Yeah,
so good.
it's really good. It's oh man. Okay, my number 1 favorite as of now is called Kill la Kill. I think you know that too.
Yeah. Oh, I know Kill la Kill. They're Studio Trigger did that. They're the same people who did Gurren Lagann.
Exactly.
And I love Gurren Lagann. That's in my top.
Yeah. What about pantyhose and stocking?
Uh, yes, I have seen that
Was
one.
it or was it stocking and pantyhose? I don't.
I was like panty and stocking with garter belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's by the same studio.
Oh, Trigger did that too?
Yeah, they did. That's
I didn't know
why
that.
only during the transformation part you'll see it.
Oh
I
yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. Yeah.
yeah. I haven't like I won't say it's sorry. It's very noisy here because of the clocks. So I'm just gonna wait for it to chime 11 times. Okay, it should be done soon. Yeah. So my number 1 would be Kill la Kill. Number 2 is Psychopath.
Psychopaths was really good. I liked
Psychopaths
Psychopaths
is
a lot.
good.
I thought it was a really interesting premise.
It definitely was. It definitely was in terms of both intellectual and direction wise. I think the director of that was really really good. And the last one would be this really old show called Handmaid May. You heard of it?
What is it?
Handmaid May.
No.
Like handmade as in like French maid.
Yeah.
May as in the month of May. So Handmaid May.
No.
Yeah, it's a really really old anime, and I like old animes. I could go on. The list could go on. I wouldn't even have to.
Oh yeah.
If I couldn't, if I could, I wouldn't want to limit it to just top 3. But Handmaid May is from the era where it wasn't so fantastic in terms of graphics, but it was a really compelling storyline. And this is almost a bit like Steins Gate, where it deals with time traveling and all. So it's about this young boy who's a programmer, and it was a time where robotics was on the rise. So he was programming a robot, and he kind of received this really weird CD that he plugged into his computer, and then everything just went crazy from there. So the CD started, and it was this character in that program saying, if you want to know something like, if you want to find out what's on this CD and you want to crack it, then you got to start typing really fast and type exactly what I'm saying. So he just starts typing and stuff. And then a huge mess happens. The whole computer just blows up. But then he receives a little package from a strange girl who knocks on his door. And he opens up this package and he realizes that, it's a robot, but it's like a little doll. It's like she's like so small, and something happens at home. He drops the box, so he breaks the charger. So he has this doll. Now he doesn't have a charger, and so he realizes that this doll just wakes up, and she's an AI program that learns. So every time she learns something, she will blink. So it's like blink. Okay, she'll learn something, and then she'll learn to do crazy stuff really silly, crazy stuff like how to turn on the TV. So she would look at the TV and she would blink and the TV would turn on. stuff like that. Or she like, like, like
Yeah.
remote control. So it's like he starts a relationship with her because he tries to keep her alive by finding out how to plug her in and charge her up. And then it's a really, really cool story. So it kind of like deals with time travel and everything. And at the same time, because, electronics engineering, programming is a big thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like that show. You might want to check it out.
I will.
It's one of those short stories where it's about 24, 25 episodes long, but it's really, really cool. Handmade May.
All right, and then finally, top 3 video games.
Top 3 video games. My number 1 is a game called One Finger Death Punch. You're like, what is that? Psych, what is that?
Because I know there's a band in America called Five Finger Death Punch. And
Yeah, exactly. There is. But this game is, it's a Steam-based game. You get it on Steam, and the concept was really, really interesting. Like, how Flappy Bird was?
Yeah.
It's so simple, but it pisses you off so much, you just keep tapping.
Flappy Bird. Oh my God. Do you have any idea how much cell phones with a copy of Flappy Bird are going for? Like, they're still worth a lot of money. It's ridiculous.
I know. But like one finger, I wanted to say 1 inch punch like Bruce Lee, but One Finger Death Punch is basically like it's basically a side-scrolling fighting game.
Yeah.
And it's a reaction-based game as well. You have this guy in the middle, and that's your character. Now he has like a zone, like a left and right zone.
Yeah.
So bad guys are gonna walk into your zone. So only when they're in your zone, you have to hit the mouse left or right, depending on which side they're on. And then it gets increasingly difficult because you get characters that would actually, you hit him here and he would dodge to the next side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really simple and it's really satisfying because the fight animation, it's all just stick figures and it's really strange. It's stick figures, but it's so satisfying. It reminds me of the old Flash animations of that stick figure guy, Xiao or something, and he goes around beating everyone up.
Yeah.
So it reminds you of that. And it's such a simple gameplay. And now I'm even more addicted to it because they released it on the mobile. So I've got it on my iPhone and I'm just killing time with it. So that's my number 1 favorite game. Number 2 favorite game would be Monster Hunter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I loved it. And the only reason why I'm not playing it anymore is because I don't own a Nintendo 3DS and I don't own a PS Vita or whatever. So it kind of stopped. But it was one of my favorites because it really, to me, it brought people together. It was my first time going out to a forum to try and look for help. And then I realized that, you have like these little groups in Singapore that actually have meetups and they would just meet and they would just play. So I went for one of these meetups and I had fun. I was like, wow, it's really big. And at that point of time, I was teaching dance. So a lot of my students were into it as well. So it kind of helped me create a closer bond with myself and my students. Yeah, and that game was just crazy. It was really, really fun. Teamwork makes the dream work, man. So teamwork was really, really good with that game. And the third game would be none other than Final Fantasy VII.
See, I never got into the Final Fantasy series. But I mean, I know people are absolutely obsessed with them.
Yeah. I've tried a lot of other Final Fantasy games. I finished quite a lot. But I think 7 was my favorite. 7 is my favorite. So I just cannot wait for the remake. But the reason why is because I think the storyline was really good. And the gameplay mechanics was really good. Like, I found myself spending time not just grinding, but thinking of how I'm going to set up, the different power-ups and everything. Yeah, for a layman to understand. So they have gems and everything that has different powers. And you have different weapons that could hold up to a certain number of gems. So you kind of want to max everything out and find the best possible combination to help you out. So that game was like one of my first few RPGs that I played, and I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, so it's my top 3 games.
Nice. All right, well, things are getting kind of noisy over on my end. It's the weekend, so...
It is.
Well, thank you very much, Psych. Thank you for everyone who is watching. And signing off now. We'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks for everything, man, Jay.
You're welcome.